Okay, so we have already discussed about the objective. I repeat, there should be the cause, the effect, and the output. Okay, the fifth step in program planning is actions to be undertaken. So this can be the form of programs, projects, activities, policies, or ordinances. If we could recall, we have already identified the problem. You have already set the objective, the effect, the cause, and the outcome. And then what are, based on these objectives, what are you going to do to attain the objective? So what projects or what activities are you going to conduct, or what policies are you going to recommend, or ordinances to be legislated by the municipal or the local government unit? So that will be part of the actions to be undertaken. Then you have already discussed, you have already all the activities. There will be trainings, there will be, what is it, um, radio broadcasts or publications, or demonstrations or field trips. This could be the activities that you plan. The next question is, how are you going to implement the actions? So step by step activities that should be done to implement the project. First, there will be a training. Even the training in itself needs a training design. To whom is the training, when is the training, what is the objective of the training, who would implement the training, how long would be the training, how much would be the resources to be used, and what are the even the resources to be used. Part of the strategies in the implementation of that even particular activity training. So this includes specific work plan and a process to be used, which may vary depending on the people involved. Okay, so that would call for the action plan or the work plan. I have already discussed. It is a chronological order of activities. So it could be from the first month to the last month if it covers many months, or first year, second year, or if it covers many years. Or it could just be weekly or daily. Chronological from the start to the end, and it includes, if uh, you have noticed that one sheet of paper and there are many columns, the activity, the objective, people involved, the venue, the duration, and then or the date, and then the funding sources and the fund requirement in one sheet of paper. That would be just at one glance of the plan. You would know what are the activities from the first to the end, why are these activities undertaken, who would uh, implement the activities, when, where, how much, where should we get the source. Okay, that would be part of the strategies in the implementation. Okay, identifying people to be involved, so to be included in the work plan. So the lead person, the chair of the committees, or agencies, or technical and financial support that should needed should also be identified. Duration as part of the plan, the work plan, present date or how long it this will also be considered by the funding agency, because that would determine how much. The longer is the program, the bigger or the higher would be the funding requirement. The shorter, maybe, if it will be the activities will not be that many, the smaller it might be the budgetary requirement. Again, and then the last one is estimating the budget needed. We need to estimate. I would uh, be very careful estimating the budget so that everything that needs to be funded should be incorporated in the plan. For example, training. If you're going to conduct a training, you should know how long would be the training. If it will be a 1 day training, the food needed. Generally, you serve two snacks and one meal. Okay. And then how many persons, how much per meal, per person are you going to budget, or what's the requirement of in the market, the supplies needed. If you're going to pay for the venue, if it will be in a hotel or in a restaurant, or in any training hall, the the speaker, if you're going to pay for the honorarium of the speaker, the transportation, the there are many. The transportation of the participants, the transportation of the speaker, the certificates, so that the certificates should be included in the supplies and materials, the kit, the training kit, the IMs or the IEC materials that you are going to give. So that should be included in estimating the budget. That is only one activity. How about if you're going to bring your farmers to a cross visit or to a field trip? The transportation, the food, the accommodation, and many things, even the medicine, even the supplies and materials. Yeah. So that should be included in estimating the budget needed so that when the budget comes, you'll know that everything has been included, incorporated, so that the plan is really implementable. Okay, I think we have gone through all the steps in program planning. Okay, approaches and planning. We've already discussed about the principles and the approaches. There are at least four approaches and planning. First is the top level planning. That is where the top level executives, elected government officials, those at the top level, the national organization, the national level, will be the one to develop the general plans for the whole organization or agency. What is advantageous to the top level planning is these executives are the ones who know where the organization is going. Means they are the ones to determine or to develop the VMGO of the organization, the vision, mission, goals, and objective of the organization. And the other one is the best people who got access of the resources of the organization. So that's why they are very important in the planning process. So they know where to go, the direction, and they have the control of the resources. So they assume major responsibility of planning the future of the organization because they are the ones setting the direction of the organization. However, the weak point of the top level planning is they might have a very weak knowledge or information about what are the problems and needs of the people down below. So if at all this will be the main planning that the organization will be investing on, there is a strong point, but there is also a weak point. Okay, top level planning. Then we go, the next approach is the grassroots or the mass-based planning. It is where the low-level officials, the members of the community, the local people participate in the planning from the situation analysis until monitoring and documentation. What is important in here? It is people empowerment, community based, people oriented, highly democratic, highly participatory, and the needs and the problems of the people would really be incorporated in the plan because they are the ones people feeling the programs themselves or the problems themselves. However, on the other hand, there is the weak point of they don't know the general vision mission of the whole local government unit or the whole as it will be aligned to the national interests and you yet have the control of the funds. If at all this will be the only approach that we're going to use, there are advantages and disadvantages as well. So try to weigh. On the other hand, the third approach of planning is joint planning. This is where our top level and the grassroots will meet together and develop the plan of the community, of the organization, of the our agency, or the association, or the group of people. Okay? This approach minimizes conflict, misunderstanding that the needs and the problems of the people are not considered because then people themselves represent or would present their own problems and needs. And there could be access to resources. And there is a clear vision as to of the direction of the organization because the top level officials, the executives, are present in the planning. So it will foster unity in the diversity of ideas, respect of human rights, justice, equality prevail among planners. This is a very ideal and very implementable approach in planning. And the last one is team or committee planning when there is this is a small for example, a committee, an ad hoc committee assigned to do a particular job or a particular activity, then they're the ones who plan for that, no? So very very specific to a particular activity alone. No? Others could actually this could provide opportunity to recognize talents, hidden ideas. So this is just one approach of planning where small groups of people assigned to a particular activity could do planning themselves based on the task assigned to them. So if I could we could summarize, there are four approaches of planning. First is the top level planning. The second is the grassroots planning. And then you have the joint planning of the first and the two. And the last one is the team and committee planning. Okay. When we look at plan or we do planning, we always mean change. If you do not like to change anything, then there is no need to plan. And according to my reference, there are four indicators of or factors to be considered for a successful change project. So we plan for a project because we need to have a change. First is there should be pressure for change. When people feel that there is already a need for change, ah, parang dapat talagang ano na, kailangan na talaga. Kung hindi ngayon, kailanman. Kung hindi tayo, sino pa? Diba? So pressure for change. The second is there should be a clear shared vision. It's not just the leader, the ones I would like who plan for a change who could see what will happen if the change will be effected. But that leader could be able to share it to other people that this is what we could see, that this is what we could expect if we're going to change. This is what will happen if this change will be effected. If we could share it clearly. And then the next one is the capacity for change, the resources to use for the change. And the last one is what should be the first step that you're going to do? Even just the first step, because if you be wrong in the first step, then how much more for the other steps in the whole change process? So I repeat, these are the four factors that we need to consider for a change to be successful, for a planned project or program to be successful. I repeat, first is there should be a pressure for change, a clear shared vision, capacity for change, and actionable first step. Okay. Supposing one of the factors is missing, what will happen? Possible situation or feelings if any of the above requisite requirement for a successful change process to occur is missing. For example, there is no pressure for change. That's why it's blank here. No pressure for change, but there is a vision. You know what would happen. You got the capacity, the resources to do, and you know what are the first steps to be done. If you still go on with the change process, change would be of low priority. Yun bang tipong hindi mo naman kailangan, there's no pressure, but sige, bilhin na lang natin ito, meron naman tayong pera. Diba? Maganda naman ito, we know how to buy it. And you really insist to buy it and you bought it. So it could be a damit, it could be equipment or an appliance or a property. That would be of low priority. Wala pang pressure to change. How about if there is pressure for change but you do not know the vision? What will happen to you if you're going to go on with a plan? You got the capacity and you know how to do it. Change is directionless. Wala siyang direction. Hindi mo nga makita kung ano mangyari. So if you go on with the change process, change is directionless. Supposing you do not have the resources, there's a pressure. Gusto ko na talagang bumili ng bagong damit. Alam ko, I look good, I look beautiful, it really be of, yeah. And then I know how to buy it, where to buy it, when to buy it. But I do not have the money. Oh, I do not know if there will be change in there. There just could be a feeling of anxiety, ba? A feeling of, sayang, meron pa naman, nakasale pa naman siya, maganda yung kulay, maganda yung quality ng texture ng ano yung ano ba yung cloth, ganun ganun. Pero walang pera. Frustration, a feeling of frustration and a loss of opportunity. Sayang. Okay. Supposing you do not know the first step, there's already the pressure to change, you know what will happen, what the vision for that, I've got the money, but ano pa talaga, hindi ko naman alam, di ba? What would I do? Gusto ko yung ganun, pagkatapos hindi ko alam magsabi, ganyan, ganyan. Change, if you go on with the change process, change will be haphazard. Or there could be a false start. It's not the right first step to someone to trod on, and it could result to uncoordinated efforts. And so if we would like to have a very successful change process, what we need is there should be pressure for change, a clear shared vision, the capacity to change, and we should know the first step or the first steps to be done. Okay, I would like to incorporate in here the musts for development. What's must? Must be done when you are going to, because change is development. And before I forget, change is a neutral term. Change does not necessarily mean good or better or positive. Change is neutral. It could be change for the worst or change for the better. Terms for change na positive could be development, growth, increase. Even the term increase could be both positive or negative. Increase in height or increase in weight, ay, baka ayaw mo. Diba? Or growth. Growth or economic growth is positive. But growth of something bad in your body might be negative. Okay? So, development is a positive change. And according to João da Costa was the former United Nations Secretary General. Okay? And according to João da Costa, there are 12 musts. Must be done, must be pursued, must be considered when we're talking for development. And I repeat, we talk of development because development is positive change. First, development must be total. Oh, when you say the Philippines, it's just only part, the northern part is developed while the southern part is not. You cannot say there is a total Philippine development. It must be total. Development must be original. It's not be copied from the US, from the other Western countries, from Japan or from China. It should be the people. Next third one is self-generated and self-determined. That would also support the word original. People themselves who plan for change should be the one to determine what is their plan about. What is that they need to plan? Or what would you would like to plan? So, and it should be integrated for, it would be gender sensitive, men and women. It could be from the with the poor and the rich. It could be with integration even with the IPs, everybody. It's not just, or it could support the word total in number one. Sixth is, this is always the battle cry. Development must respect the integrity of the environment. There are instances where we flattened a mountain just to give rise to a new subdivision. I do not know if we are respecting the integrity of the environment. We have to put the, what is that, a mountain, even if there is no mountain, because we would like to make a tourist spot in there. Why can't we just make it what is natural? Natural is beautiful. So must respect the integrity of the environment so that the environment will not be the ones to tell us the voice of the voiceless. Diba? Pag may flood, lahat na ginawa nating masama, what we have thrown, the garbages will return back to us because we have not respected the integrity of the environment. Seventh is, development must be planned. Wala namang, uh, though yeah, there could be beautiful unplanned changes that may happen and which we could not control. We do not have the, the hands to do it. What we could only and what we could do is we need to plan. So must be planned. Development must be directed towards a just and equitable social order. It should be for everybody and not just for the rich, and the poor becomes poorer. The rich becomes richer. So equitable social order. It's not equal, but equitable. Those who do, do exert more effort should be able to get more of the change, the effect of change. So equitable social order. Development must be democratic according to Abraham Lincoln. Democracy is by the people, for the people, in the people, with the people. It should be for the people. And one principle of, as we could recall, one principle of change is, or planning is, for people first. It should be for people first and foremost. So it should be democratic. 10th is development must not insulate less developed countries or regions into reservations. As if this is for US use only, this country is for Japan use only, or in this country is special for that people only, group of people only. No reservations. Must not insulate. Insulator, you could hindi ka makurintihan, di ba? If you use insulated surfaces or insulated gloves or something like that. So there should be no countries which should serve as reservations of other countries. It should not insulate. It should be for everybody. Hindi siya nagparabang reserved or frozen other countries. They are not part of this one. So development must be for everybody. Development must be innovative. It should be for something new. It should be creative. Even if it is old, but there's something new now. And the last one is development planning must be based on a realistic definition of national needs. Realistic definition of national needs. What is the national aspirations? What is the national need of the people in that particular nation or country? So according to Joe da Costa, if I could repeat, these are the 12 musts for development as we engage on planning for change. Okay, so I would like to end this chapter 2 in our Management of Extension course, Extension Program course, with the quote, planning without action is futile, and action without planning is fatal. Thank you very much, and I do pray that everybody is safe, keep safe, and God bless you all.